The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Lifelong learning on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Kernersville Auto Museum. It is a fantastic place. We'll tell you more about that later on. Later on, the roundtable will be here. They'll get into all sorts of controversial topics, so stay with us for the whole half hour. Where we want to start, though, is with our good buddy, Kevin Baker, Executive Director of Piedmont Triad International Airport. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Jim.
Lots of big news since you were on the show before. Of course, one that's still reverberating is the news that you landed Jet Zero to be here. So let's help people understand this. What do they make? Why do they come here? And how many folks will they employ?
Yeah, I'll start at the end and work backwards. They're talking about nearly 15,000 employees.
Wow.
This company is, you're using old technology, the blended wing technology. It's technology developed in the 50s, 60s, but really it will change the commercial aircraft market as we know it. The typical airplane is a tube with a wing. And that tube is doing nothing but hanging from that wing. It's dead weight, right? And in this case, the fuselage, the tube, actually becomes molded into and part of the wing itself.
Okay.
And so, therefore, it's that much more lift that is provided and that much more efficient of an airplane.
Right.
So it's just a completely different way of flying.
How were you able to land them when everybody in the world wanted them?
Well, I think that this airport, as you know, has been preparing for years, decades, really. I keep on saying on your show even that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. And, were it not for people buying land decades ago and, planning for this kind of thing. And then, us having a very focused, laser focused, really, mission to get the airport ready for projects like this, so that whenever they knock on the door, we can say we don't have to say we'll get it ready. We say we are ready.
Right. Now, in addition to Jet Zero, of course, there are a lot of places that are operating on your campus at PTI, but you have Honda and you have Boom. But just mentioning those three right there, why are those kind of companies significant to the benefits to the airport, to the community, to everybody?
Yeah, so those are OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. They're manufacturing airplanes. As far as I know, we're the only airport now in the country that has 3 aircraft OEMs based on the airport. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And the importance of that is the end manufacturer of the airplane. That's the people who are rolling it out and sending it off to a customer. Each of these airplanes, depending on which one you're talking about, has millions of parts, literally millions of parts. And all of them have to be manufactured somewhere.
Right.
And, in recent years, the industry has really resolved to have providers of parts and other services close by the final assembly location.
Got to have the supply chain right with you.
Yes, they want to be able to reach out and touch them. Therefore, if whenever you get one of these OEMs, it brings with them all of the suppliers that they're going to need to build those planes.
We circle back to Jet Zero. You mentioned over 14,000 jobs that'll come here. Now, how in the world are these companies, just the 3 we mentioned and others, going to find the employees to do the kinds of things they want?
Yeah, so it's a huge issue. It's something that we need to deal with. And first of all, our community has a heritage of having these kinds of employees here already. So we've got a bench strength that's really strong right now, and we've got through GTCC, through NCA&T, through NC State, through a number of secondary education institutions like that, we already have a pipeline coming out all the time of new employees. However, with these wins, that has to get ramped up to a new level. And there's a couple of groups that are working furiously, I will say, to stand up, an increase to that pipeline's capability.
Right. So we got the training and the people they need.
That's right. I
just think it's got to be very gratifying to see all this happen after years and years of work, right?
It is. I can't explain it.
Well, if you could explain it, would you do it on this show? No, I don't know. No, this guy is. I don't want to embarrass him, but he just does a great job in trying to coordinate all these efforts. And I do want to congratulate you for helping to bring these jobs to the area. It means a lot to the area and to the state. Up on screen, flyfrompti.com gives you some general information about all sorts of things, PTI related. Flyfrompti.com. To Kevin Baker, our friend and leader, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Jim.
All right,
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back after this.
North Carolina's economy is growing, bringing new businesses and opportunities. The need for electricity is growing too. At Duke Energy, we're meeting the challenge, providing even more electricity that's cleaner, reliable, and that stays affordable. We're getting out of coal and reinvesting in our communities with a diverse, balanced mix of energy sources and making targeted upgrades to the grid so that North Carolina can thrive in a smarter energy future.
Spartans are the teachers, artists, nurses, scientists, and leaders who build our communities.
Back now on Triad Today, and always glad we can spend a few minutes with some good folks from UNCG, since all of us here, the crew, and Melissa and TJ and I are graduates of UNCG, so I'm a little prejudiced this way for this lady. Elise Eifert is with us. She's Associate Professor of Gerontology. She also oversees a lifelong learning at UNCG and a first-time visitor to Triad Today. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
How do you define lifelong learning?
Lifelong learning, I guess with the two words, it's a little intuitive. Lifelong learning, you're learning across the life course. However, there are very specific contexts for lifelong learning. So the first context is really about professional development. So think continuing education.
Gotcha.
But the other type of lifelong learning is more about personal development. So you're thinking intellectual stimulation, really learning for the joy of learning, and that's the type of lifelong learning that I do.
What kind of opportunities do you and the university offer in this line?
We have lots of opportunities at UNCG. So of course we have the traditional lifelong learning where you can earn a degree or earn a certificate for credit hours, but we have other non-credit earning opportunities. The first one is our Senior Citizen Audit Program. So anybody over the age of 65, that's a North Carolina resident, can audit courses at any of the state institutions like UNCG for free.
Wow.
And so these are your typical traditional 15-week on-campus courses. You can negotiate with the professor if you want to do homework or readings or exams.
Are you talking about any kind of course? Or
yeah, any course that on campus.
Does this have to do with it? Didn't you send me an email one day about the Emeritus Society? Is that what this is all about?
So that's our other lifelong learning program I was going to tell you about.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so
I didn't know if it tied into the other thing, but go ahead.
I oversee both, or I help facilitate both. But the other lifelong learning program is Emeritus Society. And this is not age restricted. So anybody in the community is welcome to take a course with Emeritus Society. And these are all mini courses. So they last between 3 and 8 weeks. But they're all taught by world-renowned scientists and researchers. Most of them are affiliated with UNCG. And no homework, no exams, nothing like that. And it covers a variety of topics. It's lots of fun.
Can you share any feedback with us from participants in your programs that comes to mind that might be interesting?
We get lots of feedback. Most people tell us how much they enjoy and benefit being part of Emeritus Society. So I don't have a single story, but the feedback we get, we get lots of people who have been part of Emeritus for 15 plus years. So the fact that they keep coming back is a good sign. We have people that take every single course that Emeritus offers. I love when people tell me that they had great conversation around the dinner table or at the holidays with their family members because of a course that they taught or that they took, and they learned something new and they were telling it to other people.
Am I restricted in the kind of courses I can sign up for, or do I get to choose things, or what?
Yeah, not with Emeritus Society. No restrictions. Anybody in the community is is welcome. Anybody who wants to learn something.
Is there a specific time of year that folks can register for the program offerings that you have, or is it a year-round thing they can sign up?
We have two programs. We have a fall program and we have a spring program. And so you can usually register for those courses a couple of weeks before they start, which would be our fall program starts in late August and our spring program starts in early February.
Last thing I want to ask you, who or what led you to a career in education? Was it a mom, a dad, an uncle, a teacher, or what?
That's a great question. I definitely wanted to be a teacher my whole life. My mother was a teacher.
Okay.
When I went to college, I became a secondary health teacher. So I actually started out as a high school health teacher.
Okay.
But I was one of those first year teachers who didn't quite love that setting. So I went back and got my master's degree and did community health and community teaching. And then I got into college teaching.
And
so
ended
I've been a
up
teacher
here.
my whole life, for sure.
And ended up here. She's a great recruiter for the Greensboro area. We'll get her back sometime and tell that whole story. Up on screen, uncg.edu. uncg.edu is the basic website. You can go through all sorts of portals on that. Lise Heifert, thanks for all you're doing. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today. Always glad we can spend a few minutes with the City Manager Pat Pate, but he has brought a special guest for us, so we're going to introduce him first. Next to me is Captain Jack Swain. He's Executive Services Bureau of the Winston-Salem Police Department and a veteran of the Iraq War with the Marines, which we appreciate his service for greatly. And Pat Pate, of course, our good buddy, City Manager of the City of Winston-Salem. Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Good to be here, Jim.
Pat, let me start with you first. How would you describe the effectiveness and the dedication of the Winston-Salem Police Force?
I think we are so fortunate in the city of Winston-Salem to have the police force that we have, and I think our community really supports them because we have a utterly dedicated group. They are CALEA certified, so if anybody doesn't know what that is, that's one of the highest accreditations you can get anywhere in the world, and we're actually accredited in 3 different areas.
Wow.
So, which is one of the few agencies, again, anywhere across the world. We have people from all over coming to see how we do business here in the city.
Jake, how long have you been with the department?
19 years.
19. Now, were you with other law enforcement agencies before that, or that was your first deal?
So, as soon as I got out of the Marine Corps, as you said, I started here the same week.
Well, now, who or what led you to want to get into law enforcement? Was it a father, an uncle, a mother, an aunt, a teacher, what?
So, my dad, I'm actually a second generation Winston-Salem police officer.
Really? Mm-hmm. Was he military too?
He was in the Marine Corps as well.
Well, we're glad to have you. Look, Jake, I understand that you've actively recruiting candidates to join the force. Let's talk about that for a second. What qualifications do you look for?
Okay, so we have state standards, obviously, that the state of North Carolina tells us that a candidate has to have, and one of those is you have to be at least 20 years old.
Right.
And of course, of good moral character, and you can't have committed or been convicted of a felony.
Right.
Are the big things.
Another reason why it's so important, I know you guys teach young people when you talk to them, keep your record clean, keep your nose clean, because things follow you. Mm-hmm. They really do. Now, what do you think makes the Winston-Salem Police Department so attractive to applicants when they could go anywhere?
So the big thing, as our city manager said, is the community support as well as support of our city officials and our city government. We are very fortunate to have the support of the community and city government and elected officials, as well as the leadership at the police department. Chief Penn has done a phenomenal job of leading this agency, and it really is a place that sets us apart from other agencies.
Now, I think Pat emailed me or something one day about a basic law enforcement class is going to begin. When does that begin?
So the next one begins October 27th.
October 26th. So when should people put in applications?
So we will do our best. We will never turn an applicant away, but to have your best chance to be in that academy, a thorough background investigation typically takes 6 weeks. So if you can have all your application material in by September 15th, we can get you seated in that class.
Now, we haven't rehearsed this or anything, but you said you got to be at least 20 years old. Is there a maximum age limit?
There is no maximum age limit.
Seriously? Now, that's interesting. I mean, of course, they got to be in good physical shape, too.
Yes.
I assume everybody has to get a physical and that kind of thing.
Yep. Part of the psychological background will also be a physical agility test and a physical health physical.
Yeah, I'm 72 and I'm not ripped like I used to be. I don't know you'd want to recruit me. What are you laughing at over there? Hey, Pat, seriously, Pat, let me ask you one final thing. What do you, if you pitch something to a new recruit, if you happen to talk to them or see them, what do you say to them about Winston-Salem being a great place to work and serve people?
I tell the recruits all the time, this is a great organization to be a part of. As Captain said, the command staff in the police department really has the backs of the employees. We preach teamwork, integrity, responsibility as parts of our core values, and those are really grasped in the police department, and they're doing a great job being out in the community. And you also get to see the impacts that you're having on your community being right here.
Sure. And of course, you always hope that folks that graduate from high school around here will stay around here too. That's another thing, trying to grow the community from the inside out. Up on screen, you can go to cityofws.org is the basic, that's a general website. You can go through different portals to get information, cityofws.org. Pat, Captain Swain, thanks for both of you for what you do, and thanks for your service.
We appreciate it.
We'll be right back after this.
Now boarding zone 3.
Back now on Triad Today, we're going to do something creative. We are going to have a speed painter with us. And those of you that watch the show every week, and shame on you if you don't, she is back. Laura Ashley, speed painter extraordinaire. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Let's remind folks who don't know, what is speed painting all about? And on average, how long does it take you to do a painting in this mode?
So speed painting is just the act of painting fast. So in my little world, I like to define that 10 minutes or less for speed painting.
God, that's amazing. And we've got footage that we'll throw in and show to people before, but when Laura was on the show before, she was sitting off to the side and did a speed painting of me, in I think it was like 5 minutes. You've been real busy since you and I saw each other last, especially a lot of work that you're doing with Appalachian State University. Now tell me about that.
Oh, we've had a ball. We've painted during their halftime at a basketball game to benefit the local breast cancer organization there.
Okay.
That was a 4-minute painting. We painted the pre-show for a baseball game.
Wow.
So I painted the Statue of Liberty during the national anthem.
Okay.
And then we painted during a timeout at the spring football game.
How about that?
Yep, that's a minute and 36 seconds.
Now, some people who've watched the show before and who follow you on your website, we'll put that up later, know that you do these things with Appalachian, but are you also available to do other schools and organizations?
Yes. We are excited to expand that schedule and start working with some other schools.
Now, you mentioned the Appalachian thing, and of course, all the things you do, or most things you do, are for charity. And I've been at several events, Richard Petty and some of the other events, where you help foundations raise money. Now, how does that happen? You say, well, it's nice that Laura's here, but what does Laura do, and how do they make money?
So they hire me to entertain, and then the artwork is theirs to fundraise with.
So you finish the painting while you're there?
Yes.
And then people bid on it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and the auctions go pretty high.
Well, I didn't want to embarrass you or anything, but I mean, give me an idea of how much somebody has contributed in one of the auctions.
The most we've seen is $16,000 for one piece.
Are you kidding me? And it went right to the charity?
Yes. Yep.
Isn't that something?
I'm pushing $250,000 altogether.
For charity.
For charity
You're just
work.
so sweet to do that. Hey, I asked you this several years ago when you were here, but in case somebody missed that show, let's just remind people, at what age were you when you first got an interest in painting and in art. I think people would find that interesting.
I have been painting since I was little. Ever since I could hold a pencil, pen, crayon, I just grabbed a paintbrush and started playing.
But did you have to train yourself to do speed painting? Because, like I said, we've shown footage before of this on the show with you, but it's just it looks like it'd be so hard to do that. Did you have to say, okay, I know how to do traditional painting, but did you have to relearn it to do this?
Yes, I did have to kind of tweak what I do, but fundamentally I'm an artist and started doing commissions, and I've done all kinds of artwork before the speed painting started.
Right.
And that kind of was inspired when the talent show called me and said, we'd like for you to come on here, you'll have 4 minutes tops. And so I started practicing, and that didn't work out, but it did inspire.
Eventually.
Yeah, and now it's starting to work out.
Eventually. Okay, well, we're almost out of time. Do you have any events coming up you want to mention?
Yes, Petty Family Foundation's Moonshine Run is right around the corner. It's in Cosby, Tennessee. We hang out with the Moonshiners, Richard Petty, and that is August the 7th through 9th. I just shared that on my Facebook, actually.
Okay, yeah. Well, here's the website. LauraAshleyLiveArt.com is the website, but you can also do the whole Facebook thing to find out things too, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
What is that? Just Facebook? What does it say?
Just Laura Ashley Live Art, everything. So Facebook, Laura Ashley Live Art, Instagram.
Yeah, I know about all these social media things.
Yeah, I like to keep it consistent.
No, I don't. All right. No, thanks for doing this. And look, seriously, thanks for all you do for charities. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, sweetie. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. UNCG, find your way here.
Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the roundtable with a quick shout out to the good folks here at the Kernersville Auto Museum. It is a great place, fascinating. Come on in, it's free to look at the cars Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hope you'll do that. Before we get to everybody, a sad note, our good buddy Ogie Overman, who's been on this show like Keith has for just about ever, Ogie's wife Janet passed away a few days ago. And so Ogie, you are in our thoughts and prayers, my man. All right, now to the round table. On my right, Mr. Theater, Dave Briggs is with us, and then Mr. Leadership, Bob Shacklord. You like that title?
That's good.
Yeah, former president of Randolph Community College, and Keith Granberry, my buddy, founder of Helping Hands Consultants.
Well, I'm not Mr. something.
You are, but I don't I'd rather not say. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce has temporarily blocked the FTC from enacting a rule that would make it easy for consumers to cancel things like cable subscriptions and gym memberships. It would have helped consumers. But do you think it should be as easy to cancel a service as it was to sign up for it, Dave?
Absolutely. I know a number, especially on your phone, if you sign up for something and then you go, oh shoot, I forgot, I didn't really mean to sign up. I want to be able to get out of that thing.
Bob?
Absolutely. It's easy to sign up and it takes forever to find a way out.
But Keith, you've worked with a lot of businesses around the nation too. I mean, businesses don't want you just to cancel, right?
They don't want you to, but it should be easy to cancel. I mean, I had a Planet Fitness contract. I had to go over there and try to find the CEO Planet Fitness International to get it canceled. So it shouldn't be that hard to cancel.
Yeah. So that Mr. Fitness, that's your
Absolutely.
name. All right. The IRS has recently ruled that churches and religious organizations will no longer lose their tax-exempt status just because their pastor endorses political candidates from the pulpit. This cancels out a law that's been in effect for 72 years. Guys, you okay with churches keeping their tax-exempt status even when their pastor endorses political candidates? Dave?
Well, I am, and I think you have to look back as to why and when this happened. So this was under the Johnson administration, and the reason that he did that was because he didn't want people in the pulpit preaching and talking against him individually.
Right. Bob?
Jim, I was a pastor and a minister and a military chaplain in 50 years. I've never let out my political affiliations in the pulpit, and part of the problem today is that the church is traded in preaching the gospel for preaching politics. It's not right.
All right, Keith.
I think the churches and the state should be separate. I think that you're going to start getting into the mud, but they had already started that anyway. But I think it should be separate, and I don't think churches should get involved in that. And it's going to be murky anyway, how much they get involved. If they have political operations, that's going to affect their IRS status. It's going to be a lot, so they need to stay away from it.
All right, a Georgia restaurant owner is coming under fire for adding what he calls a living wage fee to every check when you finish your meal. He says the 18% surcharge goes directly to his staff. Now, are you okay with being forced to pay a surcharge when you dine out, Dave?
I am, and I think he should go ahead.
You're okay with it?
No, I don't. I'm not okay with that at all. I think he should price his food and his service based on a particular price, and then if you're a patron, you're going to tip based on what the total bill is, not on what that 18% above and beyond is.
Do you want the manager to put a surcharge on your bill, Bob?
No, it's another hidden charge like hotels and airlines do. You get a hotel room that says $179. By the time you pay for it, it's $265. Put the price on there and let that be it.
So, Keith, you finish your meal at the restaurant, it's $50, but now it's $68. What do you think?
I don't want to go back to that restaurant. I think if it's a large number of people, that's okay because the services, but I don't think adding a surcharge on 18% for 1 or 2 people is doable.
Last week, guys, the executive committee of the North Carolina Democratic Party passed a resolution calling for an end to military aid to Israel. Now, this is our state Democratic Party. The resolution refers to genocide against Palestinians. It says the money should be better spent here at home. Okay, are state Democratic leaders out of touch or in touch with the majority of North Carolinians? Dave?
I think they're out of touch with the majority of North Carolinians, and the reason, Israel and Turkey are our primary countries that we work with in the Middle East.
Pretty good allies.
And they are our allies. We can't not support them.
Bob?
I support Israel as an ally. They have been forever. I don't support Israel at war with Gaza instead of Hamas.
All right, Key.
I think that that's a terrible move for them to make. I think that the war that they're having against those people in Palestine is wrong. But I also think that they should come to the table and come up with some reasonable solution. But cutting off aid to Israel is not one of them.
All right. Finally, guys, the Pittsburgh Naturalist Society recently held an all-nude bowling tournament for charity in which the only clothing allowed was to wear shoes. Guys, have you ever participated in a sport with your clothes off, Dave?
Not that I can recall.
And you would know?
I would remember.
Bob, what about you?
I'm afraid I'd hurt myself. And the only sport I will do in the nude anymore is my morning shower.
I don't know if showers are
You call that a sport?
Keith, have you ever participated in a sport with your clothes off?
I don't want to hurt people. I want them to stay, it's just too much.
It's too much for them to take in.
It's too much. But in West Virginia, they have a nudist camp. I just saw that in New York Times.
Yeah.
Where all of these military people go.
Yeah.
Right now.
Mr. Fitness. You just heard it from him. Well, that's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. Last week in Poland, a group of archaeologists discovered a skeleton of a 1,000-year-old medieval knight buried way under a former ice cream parlor. The coroner said the knight probably died of lactose intolerance. I'm not sure if he did or not. For all of us here, Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.